I can hold a grudge longer than you. A grudge. Hold it for two. A grudge. Sorry.
Wait, so now you'll be singing this, and then when I'm doing the extravaganza in the intro, you don't want to join me. But now you know how to hold long notes.
I have my vocal cords need to warm up. Did you hear my amazing vocal performance right now, bro? I hit every key, like I just hit every note. It's insane. Some might say I'm a generational singer.
No one said that.
I actually should quit podcasting and become a singer.
No one said that.
Do you think I should become a singer, Sam?
You could do whatever you want. It's just everything is profitable. Not everything is beneficial. What is going on? Chabari and you. What's up? Welcome to the 30. Welcome. Karibuni kwenye extravaganza. Afam alipofika aliingia.
What's happening right now?
Yes, that's where you start. Na. Welcome to the 30% podcast. My name is Sam. I'm here with my non-singing co-host Afam. Thank you for being here with us.
I'm the person who sings the most on this podcast.
Well, you don't sing in the times where it matters. So what do you have to say about that, Mr. I've got rebuttals for everything. Shout out to everyone who's listening to us. Shout out to you. We really honestly appreciate you spending some of your time with us. This is a 30% podcast. It's a music podcast. It's a music industry podcast. It's a podcast by two young cats. Afam, are you a young cat?
Yes.
Two young cats in the industry trying to figure it out. You can find it on Spotify. We're on Spotify. We are on both YouTube platforms, YouTube Music and YouTube Video, the major YouTube platform. And then we're on Apple Podcasts. You can stream it there. Share it with people who you think might benefit from it. We are also on social media. That is the 30% pod on Instagram, on X, on LinkedIn, and on Threads. So you can find us there. We really appreciate everyone who has... I was out this weekend and people came up to me saying they really enjoy the podcast and they appreciate what we're doing for the culture. So we really appreciate all of you and your feedback, and we really love doing this because I think it benefits us. So thank you for listening, and share, do all the things that help us push the podcast and take it further. This weekend I learned word of mouth is one of the best ways to share something with people. So tell someone else about this podcast if you feel like it.
Unless, of course, your ancestors are wiped out and then that word of mouth is just never kept in any records, and that's it.
Talking about ancestors now. Ancestors, yes, please.
It's true.
Please go into your history and find out if your ancestors are still alive. Man. This is the podcast. Let's Afam. What's up?
What's up? Yeah, man. No, that bothers me. It bothers me, man. Our ancestors,
dead ancestors,
especially. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they passed on information through word of mouth, oral traditions, and the frustration about that, like even as a people, bro, like unfortunately our history, like that we really know, like in East Africa, that's what I'm saying, especially in Kenya, like we only really know stuff like from the late 1800s. So I'm talking like 1880,
okay. You're
70
talking
over
specifically
there,
about African history.
right? Like if you ask, like, no, I'm talking about Kenyan history. Like,
Oh,
bro, like if
yeah.
you, even when we learn what we learn in school, man, like our history, always the first thing they teach us in history is usually about like the building of the railway. But like, bruh, does our history even start from the like our? It insinuates that our history
Who were
starts
we
from the
before the
colonial
colonizers?
period. Exactly. Who were we before the colonizers? And
boy.
I'm not criticizing oral traditions. I just wish like some of our traditions were written down, because then we would know so much. Like honestly, I want to know like what was happening in the Kenyan region in the 1600s. I have no idea. The only things we'll ever know is like the trade that was happening in the coast or shit like that. But like I want to know what was happening in like Nairobi.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Maasais were there, but like what was happening?
Exactly.
I don't know. I want to know, man.
It would be really difficult to get those. You know what you need to do? You need to go and find, there's the old man with the thinned out dreads, locks, the ones that are barely hanging on. Have you seen that Gucci meme? The meme of that guy with the Gucci bag?
I have.
Yeah.
The bag.
You need to find the guy whose hair is like really hanging on for dear life. That's the guy
only the only real oral traditions that have been passed on that we really know is like the creation stories, like the different creation stories for the different tribes. Those ones are we know those ones, but like I want to know like what occupation did the Kikuyus have like in the 1600s? Were they I heard rumors of Kikuyus being like metal, what do you call them? Metalsmiths, like ironsmiths and stuff like that. But like that's interesting. That's me speculating. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. But did you ask me how my day was? My week was?
How are you doing, man? Bro, got into a whole history soliloquy. Like, just tell us what you've been up to, man.
Oh,
this is not history class.
That's what I've been up to. Just thinking about the fact that I don't really
know
myself.
How did you get here? Yeah.
Also, my week was cool. I'm back in Texas right now. Been working on a lot of music. Been very, very inspired actually by the Calif Records era. That's really what I've been listening to a lot. Bro, I just want to give them their flowers now. Clemo, Charles Luche.
Yeah, Clemo.
Like those guys. Yeah, Bicha Clemo, bro. Like those guys were really they were really dope. Here's why. I feel like right now, in the era you and I are in as producers, man, we were exposed to so much, man. Like, make beats on FL Studio. Bet I'll just simply stay in my seat and torrent FL Studio, and I have the tools I need to make music, right? And then I just watch YouTube.
Keep your voice down. Keep your voice down. Don't shout.
No, but it's true though. But then these guys, man, they really like their exposure to all this stuff, because obviously Calif Records, it was really just inspired by Kina Dr. Dre and everything like that. Like even with the synths and everything. That's really where the inspiration comes from. But like in terms of the how, they had to figure that stuff out. And big shout out to Charles Luche as well with the videos. Like I've been watching all of the videos on that page, and I'm just looking at them now. And yes, sure, with a 2024 perspective, you look at those videos and think, the graphics and the effects and the transitions are kind of whatever.
Everything that was done back then looks corny. So
they had so much creativity, man. The stuff he was doing, zooming into somebody's eye and then having the thing, like the video transition that way. And you can tell this guy was doing things like
that was
manually. Like he was manually doing these transitions and stuff like that, man.
Yeah.
I was listening to the song with Pili Pili and Jim Watt. I'm forgetting what it's called. But bro, like the transitions in that were sick. Like these guys were visionaries, man, for real. Like they had limited tools and they were actually making like. And then another thing I realized, bro, it takes like very few people to make movements. It really does. Because we look at this stuff and you look, okay, yeah, all the artists who are under Calif Records, man. You look at Jokali, you look at Meja, you look at Jimwad, you look at Caesars, you look at like just everyone who was affiliated, Size 8 and all those guys. But then like the brains behind the whole operations was from a very limited number of people. Sure, there's Clemo, there's Charles Luche with the visuals, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people behind the scenes, or there's a few people behind the scenes who I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But still, even then, it really to create like a very meaningful stuff, you need somebody who's very driven and very hardworking, because these guys were releasing a lot of music.
Yeah.
And it's all coming from just like a very small source, man. And I kind of see beginnings of that with like someone like Cap. He bro, he's really like carrying the underground scene. Like, cause all the time you see all these new artists, like whatever, like in some way or form, is in some shape.
Some shape or form.
Okay, English. Yeah, exactly.
You used all your brilliance like, on the history lesson in the beginning.
I did. But like, yeah, Cap always has like something to do with like these people. You look for like an artist like, I don't know, you'll find an artist like Kiggs, and then you look at his production and you'll see Cap is there. Or you look at an artist like whatever, and you'll see 19 and I know 19 and Cap, like I feel like it really just takes like a few individuals to really like go out of their way to like do something and then work with a bunch of people, and it feels like a whole movement is happening, but it's really just like a few people doing things.
Yeah, I say sorry. I also see that with Wodomolo. Like Wodomolo has his hands in a lot of people's music. Motoria also does that in terms of, I feel like it's evolved from the model that Clemo and them were using during that time, just because of the times. And now we have technology and it's a lot further. So we have a lot more people with the resources to make music and studios and stuff like that. So we're seeing a lot of different, it's almost like the big crowd of people that were just directed, crowd of artists that were directed to one place. Now it's split into different sections, and so there are different producers handling, but you can still see the ones who are having their hand in like a lot of music these days. You mentioned Cap, obviously, in terms of the underground. I think I just mentioned Wodomolo is one of them. Mutoria has done a lot of music with a lot of people, and even some of the older people still are trying and working, but they're doing it silently. So that's really cool. But yeah, man,
even Hendrik Sam is also really just has his hands in a lot of like things.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I learned, man. Like you just, bruh, to create a movement, you don't need like all these moving pieces. Like you really just need one pristine individual with like a very, very clear like ideology plan thing. Anyway, what else did I do this week? So I've just been making a bunch of so I've been using that as fuel to make a bunch of beats, calif record type beats and stuff like that. That's basically what my week has consisted.
What's the weather like in Texas?
How about so hot. The beginning of the week was really, really hot. It was like,
when you say hot, is it like hot like here?
There.
Hot. Like, when the sun is up and burning. Is it that kind of hot, or is it a different kind of hot?
The hot in Texas is way hotter than Nairobi.
Wow.
It's you'd compare it to like Mombasa, but it gets even hotter than Mombasa hot. I promise. Like the hot in Texas is
it's not humid
joke.
Though.
But listen, it's sometimes it gets humid. It's hot here, and like it's spring. It's hot right now, and it's not even summer yet. So it's
sorry, man.
It's a bit of a problem.
Sorry.
But then of late, like it's been a bit cloudy and stuff, because I think there's gonna be like a storm or something like that. So it's this is the season for
it can turn into a storm
like,
chaser,
tornadoes and stuff. Yes, sir, bro. But how about yourself, man? How's your week?
Oh, thank you for asking. Week was cool. Just a bunch of work. I went into on Thursday, I think this is the highlight of the week because not much else happened. On Thursday, was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday. Was it Thursday or Friday?
It was Thursday.
It was Thursday.
No,
right?
It was Friday. It was Friday.
It was Friday? Friday, I went, the Goethe Institute were having a little music distribution talk, streaming revenues and music distribution talk at Goethe Institute. So that was really cool. It was moderated by the one, the only Anyiko Owoko. She has a podcast
of PR.
Yeah. And PR. So she's doing really well on that front. Talking to all your faves. So yeah, that was cool. She's actually a very good moderator. There's moderators who really annoy me where they try to be the panel. And they must always insert themselves. But now she let the panel talk. And speaking of the panel, it was a really, really, really good cast of all women, by the way, which was really cool to see actually.
Fire.
Martha Huro, I don't know how to pronounce that. It sounds Japanese. Martha Huro, who is the managing director managing director East Africa at Boomplay. We know Boomplay is like it's one of Africa's major DSPs. Actually one of the world's major DSPs. We had Beth Achitsa.
Africa. No, it's Africa.
Oh, really? Just Africa? I'm trying to put a lot of sauce on it.
Mostly Africa.
Right. Take away some of that sauce. Beth Achitsa.
There was a little bit of too much dip on your chin. Sorry.
Yeah. Beth Achitsa, who is artist and label operations at The Orchard. And then Agnes Opondo, who is a licensing manager for Mdundo Kenya. Very, very knowledgeable.
Sorry, okay, I'm doing the interrupting thing, but care to like explain what The Orchard is, or will we? Okay, maybe we'll get there. Sorry, maybe I'm preempting you. Sorry.
No, go ahead. You know what it is. Explain it.
No, I don't. This is from your perspective. You're the one telling the story.
Why are you doing this? Just explain what The Orchard is. What is The Orchard? You know,
The Orchard is a distribution company that's under Sony. That's basically.
See, that was yes. So, yeah. I mean, they're all. Is Mdundo? Would you consider Mdundo a distribution company also? It is, right?
No, I would consider them more of a streaming company like Boomplay.
Yeah,
but they, a streaming platform. Yeah, because people go to Mdundo to listen to music, right?
Yes, I mean,
don't
they
know
do
if they
still
have distribution services.
Yeah, they and I kind of learned a little bit of that over like they have artists that they sort of like push, so it can double up sometimes. I don't know.
I mean, but so do Boomplay though.
Yeah,
Boomplay used to like endorse a bunch of artists and stuff because they I feel like they all try and take a more hands-on approach, especially over here. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that was those are three panelists. It's really good, very insightful. I learned a couple of things. I think the most
nice.
Well, let me say the most. I don't know whether I can say it, but the most favorite thing I learned, is that proper English?
We'll go with it. Listen, the colonizers brought that language, so who cares?
Back to the colonizers. The colonizers. So they said that the three challenges, let me not call them problems, I think it's a better way to frame it, saying the three challenges of facing Kenyan music, specifically Kenyan music now. The first one is policy. Okay. Our laws are very outdated. Our laws are they're not current. They don't, and our laws don't move with the times, right? So that's one of, and it's like a trickle down effect where if we don't have, maybe even a trickle up effect, we're having anti-gravity. If we don't have proper laws, then artists can't really back up their art, like in terms of like copyright and all the thing and IP laws. We don't have as much leverage as artists to either defend the misuse of our art or to like appropriately value it and push it outward. So policy is like a really huge thing. Unfortunately, the panel didn't really focus on that. Maybe that was going to get into like a whole and rabbit hole, and
maybe
we probably need like IP lawyers and people who specialize in that. There's like 10 IP lawyers in the country, and I'm not even talking about the good ones. There's just 10 only.
That sounds unfortunate.
Yeah, in the whole of it, which is it's ridiculous. It's in 2024, that's ridiculous. So policy needs, the government needs to get on just a pro-Kenyan art just bug. They need to be bitten by that bug and just get the policies up to par. And there's no reason not to, right? They just take someone who has a desire to do it. Because all we need to do is, all right, what's working in other countries? How can we customize that to our, like, no need to reinvent the wheel when it comes to policies. Like, we really don't need to do that.
Yeah.
It just copy and paste. I like the Mr. Bean meme of, that the meme when he's like copying the test. Anyway, all right, I'm not getting to that. Anyway, so that's number one, policy. We need to get our policy up. Just copy and paste. That's what we need to be doing right now. Copy and paste and figure out if it works. And if it doesn't work, we'll redo it and just make it work for artists. Number two was education. A lot of artists a lot of people in the industry need education. We don't know some of the things that... Wait, let me say this first. We think, again, and I think sitting there, I went through that crisis of thought myself. I thought, okay, I know a lot of these things because I've done research and I've been I've talked to people who are knowledgeable about this stuff. But what percentage of people are knowledgeable in art compared to the Kenyan people? Like the general art profession. How many people do we think know the correct way to move about the industry, right? It's probably very small because the artists everywhere.
You mean like if you're comparing, like, okay, in general of all the artists in the rest of the world, 35% know about, like, are educated about the music industry business.
I'm talking Kenya.
Comparing that to... but I'm saying you're comparing that percentage to, okay, of all the artists in Kenya, if that number is significantly less than 35%, then there's a problem.
So
do you get what I mean?
I think I'm following you. I might be a bit a bit confused in terms of the numbers. Wait, explain what you're saying again, because I don't want to
okay, I'm saying okay, so in the whole of the world, right?
Yeah.
Excluding Kenya, for example, assuming 100% will represents all the artists, right?
Yes.
And 35% of that of those 100% of that 100%, those 35% of artists know or are educated on the music business, right? So now, comparing to 100% of the artists in Kenya, right?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
If that number is significantly less than 35%, then there's a problem.
Yes, so there's a huge problem in that. And again, just to plug, and no, let me not do that. There's a lot of people who are doing music education, platforms that are aiming to spotlight the industry, and people who are trying to spotlight the industry. I think earlier, a couple of podcasts earlier, we talked about there's a lawyer who's doing like initiatives on just educating people about the industry and stuff like that. So, and then there's this podcast. Obviously, there's other podcasts. Valerie Mudhoni, who is doing a little bit of spotlighting. Also, shout out to her in her podcast.
Shout out to Valerie.
Yeah. So there's definitely that going on. It just we need to mainstream the education of art for it to become a thing that everybody is knowledgeable about, And then the third thing is finance. And I feel like the third thing is linked to the first thing, in that the government doesn't necessarily value art the way it is, so it doesn't pump as much money as it needs to in order to get this initiative started. So then artists are kind of left on the back foot and trying to figure things out themselves. And we know, I mean, we don't necessarily see like an influx of like cash for artists to use. So that's definitely a problem. There's examples, and I don't know how true it is, but the examples of the American music industry being built off the back of what is the guys called? Dang.
Oh,
Gangsters.
You're talking about from Wash people.
Yeah. No. Sorry. The American industry being built off the back of what is the mafia? Like the ones funding the industry.
Oh, yeah.
And then also in Nigeria, the Yahoo boys. Well, again, this is all
the
allegedly.
Yahoo boys.
Yeah. So
by the way, we are making some bold claims.
That's why I put boldly allegedly on there.
Yeah.
But anyways, so we need, and of course we don't want it to be the criminal way. It would be much better if it's done through like proper initiatives by the government. So yeah, those are the three main
government
things
are also criminals anyway. So
oh man,
sorry.
Yeah. Those are the three main things that I found that interesting. Policy is very easy to break them down. Policy, education, and finance. And so this is a call out to whoever who can get any of these things done. Just do it. Okay. Just do it.
That's well broken down, man. Policy, education, and finance. Like if I was to if I was to say the main like barriers in the music industry, wow. See, I'm learning right now.
Yeah.
Learning with Sam. Sam, I was gonna make
no jingles,
jingle
please. No
you,
jingles,
like,
none.
I don't. Yeah, it's fine.
No
it's
jingles.
Fine. I've let that go.
Thank you. Dang. What else did I learn? I learned a couple of cool things. Man, I like what Mdundo are doing, in that they're really focusing on the diaspora out of Nairobi. Nairobi tends to have a main character syndrome, main character tendencies.
Oh, so you mean like within Kenya?
Within Kenya, yeah. I'm speaking specifically within Kenya. They focus on artists and art outside of Nairobi and try to highlight that and bring that up, like people who sing in Kalenjin and whatnot. And there's market for
that's
these.
Hard.
Yeah, there's market for these. It's just it's not highlighted because it's drowned out by Nairobi noise. So that's really cool. I really applaud them for doing that. And I also learned as an artist, you don't always have to market your music to Nairobi alone. Like there's people outside who want to listen to music, and we think that just playing it in Nairobi alone is the only way to make it. So just think about that. Figuring out how to push your music outside of Nairobi and finding new customers, because the pool here is very small. But Kenya is really big, and there's a whole bunch of people who do listen to music. So that was cool. What else did I learn?
Did you manage to like network with anyone there? Was there any people of interest?
Yeah, I did.
Who were in attendance?
I did. First I met a couple of people. Shout out to Maya Rivenberg from KECOBO. It's cool, always cool meeting her. We talked a bit. She told me what's going on at KECOBO. That's cool. They're doing great things over there. Yeah, I also met Jobe, who is an industry professional. Cool guy, industry professional. He works for Sony now, which is a really cool job. I don't know why working at a big label just seems like cool work to be doing.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, shout out to him. So it was cool. We chopped it up, talk about what he's doing up there. That was cool. Met a couple of people who are fans of the podcast. That was always fun. Shout out to...
Wait, for real?
Yeah. Shout out to Aisha. I think her name is Aisha. She's also doing like really cool work. I think she's working with the likes of Nameless, she told me, and Wahoo, and a bunch of other people. So that's really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and a bunch of other... It's really nice when like it warms my heart. When publicans like, oh, look at you. So it's and then they say, at least for me, the good thing is like, oh, they like when people tell us what the podcast is doing for them and how how it benefits them. So that was super
crazy.
Dope. Yeah. That was that. The show started at 5.
Sounds like you had a good time.
Yeah, it was supposed to start at 5. It's ended up, Kenyan timing. Come on. It wasn't going to start at 5. So it started a bit later than that. And then it ended around... I left at around 9 because I was hungry. I needed to get some food, which is a whole other story. Getting food in town is such a weird place in the night. But anyway, it was held at the Goethe Institute, which is near University of Nairobi, around that side. So yeah, that was dope. It was a really cool experience.
Fire.
They have more coming up. So So like more education. So if you're really interested in the music industry and industry professionals, there's going to be more happening. I think they say that there's going to be happening every month. So just follow them on their social media page, Goethe Institute, and get that information. Oh, that was long.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing.
Oh, you're
that,
welcome.
Man. Yeah. And hopefully, yeah, man, I feel bad that I was unable to like attend because I love the way you just broke down the whole policy, education, and finances thing, because like that's just the best way to put like the struggles we have over in the music industry.
Yeah.
But speaking of struggles and the music industry, have you seen that the Kenyan CMOs have been ordered to cease operations?
Bro, I'm getting tired of this because it's an off and on, off on, off on. You know, like when as a kid we were told never to play with a light switch because you're afraid that the bulb is going to burst. This is what it feels like now. They keep starting and stopping and starting and stopping and starting and stopping. I'm tired.
So basically, they say KECOBO has ordered the country's collective management organizations to cease operations pending a court case barring the renewal of their licenses. The regulator says that the new licenses were intended to go into effect on 9th May 2024, but due to a petition filed at the High Court of Kenya in Nairobi on 28th March, the process has been suspended until the matter is heard, or the process had been suspended until the matter is heard in court. So there is, what else they say? There was another snippet I wanted to read. So the High Court issued orders restraining KECOBO from issuing operating licenses to the CMOs pending the hearing and determination of the petition. KECOBO chairman Joshua Kutun said on 30th April, the court extended those orders to 30th May, and consequently, the CMOs have been informed to cease operations until their licenses are renewed or new licenses issued once the High Court issues its decision. I wanted to read one more thing from this article that I am reading. On 8th November 2023, KECOBO issued 6-month provisional licenses to the 3 CMOs, MCSK, CAMP, and PRISC. But what they're saying is, as of 24th April, the board... So after 6 months came to an end, KECOBO's board of directors reviewed the performances of those 3 CMOs and decided to issue an open call for new license applications on 10th April, which we reported on that. Like they're making it like a So You Think You Can Dance, or like a, you know what I mean, like a competition.
Dating
so
show.
Then they say, as of 24th April, the board has received applications from 5 organizations, aka MCSK, CAMP, Collective Management Services Limited, which is new. I haven't really heard too much about them. The Performing and Audiovisual Rights Society of Kenya, which used to be PRISC. So I guess PRISC have rebranded. And so what are they called now? They're called PARS. PARSC. So PARSC is the artist formerly known as PRISC. They saw what Keithan was doing, and they were like, you know what, I'm trying to do the same thing, man. They were like, it's rebranding time. And then the Filmmaker Rights Achievers of Kenya. So, I mean, this whole news kind of leaves us like in limbo, because like, what does it all mean? Does that mean that royalties are not going to be collected in this period because who's collecting them and who's accounting for what's been collected? It just leaves me in the dark because I don't really know too much. I just, so do we just have to trust that the royalties are like being stored somewhere before the appropriate CMO who they elect is chosen to be the Simba? I don't know, man. Like, what are we doing here, Simba. Sam? Maybe you have more answers than I do.
Maybe I don't. I am. This needs to be sorted out.
What do you think the issue is?
The issue is that there's no.
Like, why are they being?
It doesn't seem like these guys are actually looking to solve the problem, because this has been temporary.
But listen, are they trying to find a new CMO because the previous CMOs have been inadequately collecting royalties? Is that the reason? But is that what the premise of this whole thing is?
Maybe they're mad. Maybe their problem comes. Do you think their problem comes from their collecting of royalties or distribution of royalties, or both, or neither?
I feel like the collecting of royalties is sound. I think it's the distribution.
Yeah. And that's what the artists are up in arms about the most. I don't know. It's such a weird position where, because artists now here left in limbo, right? Like, okay, so 6 months.
Yeah.
Are you going to collect my royalties? What's going to happen? And then it just feels like it's not been given importance, because this is something that they can really sit down and do like proper research and proper vetting processes, and then get this done in like a long time, get all the professionals they need and input they need to get it done.
Yeah.
But this whole start and stop, it's really, I'm sure it's frustrating for the artists, but I'm sure it's also frustrating for the CMOs who have a desire to do things right. But then now the whole giving me a license for 6 months is like, what? Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It needs to be figured out, because
I feel like
really
somebody's finessing us. Like,
finessing somewhere. That's what the African brain goes to.
I feel like after all this song and dance, once they settle on the chosen one, if there's no marked improvement in the distribution of royalties, it was all for nothing, and they've just wasted everybody's time.
It's craziness, man. It's craziness. It needs to stop. I'm even tired of reporting on it, because now I don't even know what new information we can give, except, oh, it's back on. Oh, it's off again. Oh, it's back on. Like, what are we doing here?
Like, I don't know. You know what? That's actually
pray for KE music. Pray for KE music
industry, man. Like, do we know what's happening? Not really.
Absolutely.
Are we making music? Yeah, we are. But like, hey, it is what it is. What else was happening in the news cycle? What are we going into? I found no, I didn't find. I ran into interesting little, because it's still we're still in the vibe of beef. The vibe Cat
of
Williams beef. Really like just put
he said he woke up and
man.
January 1st and set things off. Yeah, everyone is beefing
it's his
now.
Fault.
Yeah. So there was an interesting thing I found where Dr. Ofweneke now let me leave my reservations to myself. And Stoopid Boy, who he did the song G. What's the name of that song? Because I keep saying different names everywhere. G-Bag. Is it G-Bag Na or G-Bag Ajat or G-Bag Jat? What is it?
It's all of that.
Yeah, because G-Bag a jug. I've seen so many different things, We played the song on the podcast when we had Brian Chege on. That was his pick. So yeah. He is in fighting, well, not fighting obviously, but then we're sensationalizing things here. He's fighting with the doc. He's fighting with Doc, who has a show on TV 47. Stoopid Boy was supposed to come on for an interview, and he canceled that last minute, saying that he wasn't paid for the interview. And then, of course, now the doctor is like, all right, bro, like, why are we paying you for an interview? Come on here. And then Stoopid Boy is like, he gave a number of reasons, but two of his main reasons was, number one, this is an avenue for him to make money, right? You want me on your platform, you should be able to pay for me to be on your platform. And also, the second reason is kind of like, he was just kind of a bit salty that he wasn't approached He wasn't called before he had a hit song. No one called him for any interviews. But now that he has a hit song, people want him on the platform. So he's definitely going to monetize off that. So those are kind of the different. I wanted to see the TikTok video. I looked for it, but I didn't find it. I'm just not very good at TikTok. I need to learn that more. But yeah, so his argument was really prioritizing his livelihood. He was trying to get gets return for his work. He's doing work. He's going on there. He's talking to you. Pay him. What do you think about that, Afam?
I think it's an interesting discussion. It's very nuanced because, well, I'm pretty sure some artists get paid to be interviewed, right? But that's not the
norm.
I mean, those artists would be exceptions, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like most artists do interviews based off of relationships they have with the people doing the interviews, or if they have PR companies that they're in partnership with who set up those interviews. There's very little cases or very few cases where artists are paid to do interviews.
Yeah.
Unless, of course, they have a lot of leverage, in which case an interviewing body or a media outlet would see value in paying said artist, right?
Yep.
So my point is, I feel like, especially when you're just starting out, now I know there's this whole argument of, you don't want to spend the rest of your time in the industry just doing things for the look, right? On for the exposure. But listen. Sometimes you have to put that ego to the side. I know he's mentioned that, before I made this song, nobody wanted to hit me up and interview me and stuff like that. But you have to let that go. The unfortunate thing is you have to play the game. And you have to realize people aren't gonna want to talk to you when you don't have anything going on.
It's the nature of the
media uses. Listen, what drives media is ads, and what drives ads is the number of eyes that are looking at said ads. Now, if I'm going to interview you, it's because your music brings those eyes and brings that attention, which our advertisers love. Because we can then go to them and say, yo, look, our show had 50,000 people listening, tuned in or watching, right?
Yeah.
So that's just how it works, man. Unfortunately, people are going to want to talk to you based off of your success. Now, if you start early on being a little bit problematic, that's what people tend to do in the industry. Unfortunately, they'll be like, yo,
difficult to work with.
Hard to work with. Mm-hmm. Oh, now when they start doing that difficult to work with thing, that's just you being blackballed. It really is, and it's horrible. And I'm not saying that it's a right thing to do, but that's what people do. They label you difficult to work with, and that's your tag that you have to hold for until people forget in the industry. So now the interviews become less and less. The amount of placements you get on shows and whatever has become less and less, and that's just how it happens. So you have to play the game. There's many times you'll bump into people and they're super fake. They're like, yo, what's up? And listen, 2 years ago they were completely dubbing you. But you have to play the game sometimes, man. There's Sorry, I was just going to say, there's obviously many times where it's okay, you don't even really want to involve yourself with the industry games, because I get it, because of maybe your principles, but sometimes you play the game. So do I support him trying to make money off of doing interviews and stuff? Listen, I get where he's coming from. I think he could have gone about it differently. I also think the Ofweneke dude could have gone about it differently, because you don't just publicly say, now we might, or hint at not playing his music as much because he didn't come to your platform.
No, that's
you don't
ridiculous.
Do that. So that's also very unprofessional.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw, just on the point you had mentioned earlier, I was watching an interview by, what's bro's name? Father Mo. Father Mo was on an interview and he was talking about how a couple of years ago, not even too long ago, he was hitting up artists to do features with him. This is before he had I think he had maybe just one major hit song, and he was hitting up artists to do features with him, and they were dubbing him and charging 100K for a verse and stuff like that. And then he's released a couple of hit songs after now, and now the same exact artists who were doing that are now asking him for a verse, And he was like, it really challenged me, because he was like, fam, when they come back to me, he's just like, we're cool. It's the nature of the industry, I guess. Now that I have something to leverage on your back.
Game, unfortunately.
Yeah. So Stoopid Boy was
because what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Sam? Are you gonna just say nah? I like unless the person was extremely disrespectful, they were like, yo, nah. Work with you, never.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Forgive
and then they come
forget.
back to you. Of course, for that type of person, I'm gonna be like, nah. I remember what you said. But sometimes you understand when somebody's kind of trying to hint at, listen, maybe not right now, because you need to also get to a level where it makes sense also for me to work with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That happens all the time. Even me, I had to understand that coming up as a producer, I used to send beats to so many people and I used to get dubbed all the time.
Yeah.
And I used to take it so personally. I used to have the chips on my shoulder, bro. I used to be pissed. I used to be bruh. I used to hate that stuff.
You wait and see when I'm up. Yeah.
Yeah. It used to make me feel so bad, but you have to understand these people also have a lot going on. There's multiple people asking them to do music. There's multiple, and right now, it doesn't make sense with what they've got going on. I can't be mad at them for that forever. You just have to move on and get better.
You do.
Essentially, I don't know.
And for him, especially for him, he has maybe just one major song now. Come on.
Yeah.
Get back into the studio and get some work done. And I'm not saying this to downplay him or anything, but then it just doesn't make sense. Half of me is okay, you know what, leverage and get your bag. But then the other half is just keep it,
go and talk to someone. Go and talk to someone like Musau and Butras and ask them how many things they did for free coming up. And where they are now. Go and ask them. I mean, they will tell you. They will tell you they did a lot of stuff for the look.
Yeah. I personally don't like that whole look and exposure talk, but I get what you're saying.
But that's how the world works, though, man. How are you gonna you can't come out of the gate saying, "You pay me what I
pay me what I'm worth." Isn't that a crazy
deserve.
thing that I can't come into the industry saying, "Pay me what I'm worth"? You have to pay me less than what I'm worth.
You can't.
For
do you
me
know
to
why?
Be,
do you know why? Because there's other people who will do the same thing that those people are asking you to do for free. You're competing. It's unfortunate, man. This is we can't live in we can't live in an idealistic world, man. You can't. So you have to kind of earn your stripes. It's unfortunate.
It is.
Do I like it? I do not.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's just how things work. Do you know how many songs we've had to work on off of the strength of us just being trying to get that look? And once you get that look, that's when you get the leverage to say, yo, I charge this for a beat.
Yeah.
But when you're starting out, nobody's gonna pay you 50,000 or 100K to do a beat just because you think that's what you deserve. Who's gonna pay you that? Nobody. But wait, make a hit, make 2 hits, then you ask people to
now you have something to
pay
prove.
You for their music.
It's weird,
it
but
makes more
I get
sense that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird, but I get it. I mean, anyway,
tough love from the industry, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough luck.
Speaking. Well, you know what? Let's get into music. Let's get into music, bro.
Let's do music. Let's do music. Fam, this week was stacked with music.
I've been a nasty girl. I've been a nasty girl.
Is that Ice Spice?
Have you
this
heard
is what
that
Ice
song?
Spice sample.
No, that's Tinashe. Oh, can I be honest? Listen, this is so sad. I'm an Ice Spice stan, and that song is horrible.
Ice Spice that's urban tone.
No, that's yeah, but that's urban tone.
That's urban tone.
Bro, but no, that shit is mid. It's even less than
so mid.
It should never have come out. Man. I don't know who in her team said, yo, this is a great idea because they need to be fired.
It's not good.
Yo, they need to. What's his name? What's Bro's name? Lucian Grange's son needs to go back to the. He needs to go back to the.
Needs to go back under his dad's wing.
Bro. Come on, you can't let your artists be releasing music like that.
No, that was terrible. Anyway, let's talk about the Kenyan music that we enjoyed, not.
Oh, sorry. Let's talk
American
about Kenyan music.
Tone that we did not
enjoy.
Do you want to get into it?
Okay, maybe I can start. So the music that I listen to, I listened to quite a plethora of stuff. The first thing I listened to was Melodramatic by Maali.
Ooh,
really fantastic.
Pleasantly surprised.
EP. Yeah. Well, I for me, I wasn't surprised because like Maali, I know what he's made of, bro.
Yeah.
No, I have a song with him, fine. I'm industry. But
I'll play with you. Yeah.
Anyway, Melodramatic by Maali. I really loved the rollout he did for it. I love the visual direction.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a sucker for black and white stuff.
Black and white
music
is
itself was
the best colorway in my opinion.
It's like, come on. You can never go wrong with black and white.
You can't.
So it's a 3-song EP. 2 songs are produced by Modest Chabari, who famously works with Kinoti.
Yeah.
And the other song, I believe, was produced by Sam Bogwa, who's also really, really making his name in the industry. I see him. I see what you're doing. So the first song, Hopeful Romantic, I like the play on the, hopeless romantic. Now he's a hopeful romantic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get it. I love that. Hold a Grudge. That for me is my favorite song.
Yeah.
I heard this song first a while ago because he released it as an acoustic thing on YouTube.
Okay.
But now I can see he went ahead and recorded it.
Got some production behind it.
Oh my God. What a song. I will hold a grudge. Hold it for 2. Bro.
Not quite Maali, but we still applaud you.
Nah, what do you mean not quite Maali?
Yo. Yeah, not quite. Well, you did your best. I really love he's for me, I feel like Maali is just growing into
I will hold a grudge longer than you. I will hold a grudge.
Bro interrupted me to sing off key.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, he's really growing into his own as an artist. He's sounding a lot more confident. That's actually one of the main things. He's sounding a lot more confident on tracks, and it's just very cool to see, and it's really cool to just watch a really talented artist start to like bloom and stuff like that. So, of course, you've worked with him, so you have a lot more insight. Just me as a casual listener, as a fan, I'm really watching and I'm really enjoying that.
You're taking great liberty to like emphasize. Okay, sour. Yes, and then the last song was New Lamp, which I guess is the song that they wanted to highlight.
Yeah.
Because it was the one that was on all the playlists and stuff like that. So shout out to them. But for me personally, Hold a Grudge was like the best one on there. I don't know, there's something about that melody that gets me.
Very enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. Yeah.
I very enjoyed it. It was very enjoyed by me. Yeah, not to be melodramatic, but that was a great EP.
Okay, you really honestly didn't. Let's move on. You didn't have to add that one at the end. I don't know why you felt like you needed to, but you didn't.
I did actually. I would feel unwell if I didn't do it. The other songs I listened to, Buy Me Love by Stacey Kamatu, that was dope.
No, we're not running over
Mama
that.
Reloaded
whoa, pause.
Oh, okay, let's not run over that.
That song. First off, Stacey Kamatu's vocals for me, they're just lovely. It sounds nice to listen to. And I love how she does, on a more serious note, I love how she does the the switch between English and Kikuyu. Like she always tries to have in the past 2 songs she's done like a Kikuyu verse on the song. So I really like that, and it's just nice to listen to, man. Like lo-fi R&B-ish music. Anyway, yeah, I enjoyed it. Shout out to her.
Yes, sir. There was Mama Reloaded by Colossal Music.
Yeah.
There was Find Someone by Papa and Anatu. We played Papa on the podcast.
Yeah, and Anatu produced the last one too, so it looks like they're working together on a bunch of joints. So it's really cool.
Dynamic duo.
Yep.
Dynamic duo. There was Leeches by King Kirby. There was Famous by Blocker Beats and Jiggy. Do you want to take us through? So I only listened to 2 songs off of the Njerai project, Friend Zone and Vibes on Vibes, but I know you listened to the whole project. What did you think?
Yes. Njerai is becoming like a really, she's becoming a favorite in terms of Kenyan music. I think she's bringing something new in terms of songwriting. When I really think about it, her songwriting is interesting for me. It's very interesting to listen to. It has a unique aspect to it. It's simple and it's catchy, but it's also like there's thought in there. It can be very deep. So she rarely does like light songs. But yeah, the EP was cool. My favorite song on there was Friend Zone by Lisa. And I reached out to her. I was like, fam, Lisa just, both of them on that joint. And the production for that song also was good. I think it was a different bop. We've not really heard that kind of beat before. At least I haven't, like locally, or not that much. So that was really cool. Njerai brought it. Lisa brought it. She featured a bunch of people on there. A lot of it was produced by Copy Worldwide and a few other people, I think. I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to get it wrong. But it's called Out With the Old.
That particular song, they don't say.
Yeah?
Never mind. I was looking for the credits, but it's not credited on streaming. So never mind.
I was making the joke earlier that whoever Dash is the most prolific producer in the world because he'd be on everyone's joints.
What a hard worker Dash is.
Yeah, if you know, you know. But yeah, that's really, very enjoyable. I enjoyed a couple of the songs on the project. But yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Short little EP.
What else did you listen to?
Yeah. A couple of people dropped projects. So we'll start with Savara, obviously. Savara dropped No Overthinking EP. The EP project, everything is a project these days. It's an 8-song project. So he co-produced a lot of the songs on there. He worked with a bunch of different producers. The project features Murumba Peach, features Harmonize, MYX Quest, and Mr. Drew. It's really cool. Savara's sound is Savara's sound. It's where he's. I
believe. Sorry to interrupt, but Fancy Fingers also produced on Tequila. I see that.
Okay.
Mr. Camera is also a producer who he's worked in. Yeah. Sorry, just to add on to the production side.
Yeah. Because we're always trying to highlight producers on here. So it was cool. I enjoyed the song I enjoyed the most was Smile. It just feels for me it felt like a feel good song. I don't know. I like that one. I sometimes I just be liking the the different songs on the projects, but it was cool. It's Afrobeat. It's interesting. It's Savara sound, and then there's a lot more. There's some African music elements in there. That was really cool. Let me see who released music. Keithan, the artist formerly known as Ethan, released an EP, and the EP is called Healing. First off, if you have the chance, just go and look at the album art. People are doing work in this country. But anyways, it's and I should highlight, it's done by Kid Volt. Kid Volt is a brilliant, really, really brilliant visual artist, digital artist. So that's super cool. Shout out to him. Anyway, Kitan released an EP. It's called Healing. A couple of songs on there. I really enjoyed this type of love. It's a very guitar heavy project. It almost has like country elements to it, and just like the guitar playing on that I think was pretty decent. If you're really into Kithan's music, you're probably going to enjoy this one. Let me see who else released some music. There's some more. A Rush released a project called Superstar. I'll be honest with you, I'm not fully all the way through it, but from what I've listened to, it sounds pretty good. Irish is one of my favorites. Just because I like people singing in their mother tongue. Sue me, I don't know. Yeah. Yes. What else? Who else released music, bro?
Sabiru released Most Wanted, a three song EP.
Give us a 3-pack,
which was give us a 3-pack. And this was not a BBL. He looks like he released this on his birthday. So shout out to Sabi Wooski, Pondi Left, Binja, and Nisho. I can see he collaborated with Dansky on Binja, and I feel like Pondi Left and Binja is him kind of breaking out from just being known as but he's been doing this for a while already, but just being known as like a Kilimani rapper and stuff. Like he's really like now going into like, just making stuff that would appeal to the wider country. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like Kilimani, but he did cater for the Kilimani rappers in the song Nisho, which was produced by DJ Prod Luigi. So shout out to him. And I also really love the artwork because it's what GTA inspired. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the Kilimani rapper wave note, kinda, we have Sasaba, produced by Cap. This is by Jovi Jov. Gashu is on the track. Gazahoti, as well as Sadiq. I've actually met Sadiq. Okay, the only people I haven't met is Gashu and Gazahoti, I believe. So shout out to them. The mixing on that was really fire. And then also on that note as well, there was 3-Course Meal by Swahili Papi. I really, really loved the Jersey Club switch up. I think that's what I listened
before we
to.
get into what we're playing, Juakali dropped. For me that was really interesting.
Oh yes,
it was very refreshing. I don't know, it was refreshing to hear Juakali, and he sounds like it's not too different from what we love Juakali for. So I enjoyed that joint. I've been making a bunch of Calif record stuff, so it was welcome to hear him. Yeah, Big Pin also teamed up with My Own Day for a song called Jew. Yeah. So that was really dope. But in terms of our song pick for this,
before we get to that again, sorry. I also want to shout out Anna Lukanga, who released a song Unimpressed.
Yeah.
And I also want to give a big shout out to Bakita, who released a song called After 2. But the most impressive thing about this song is that Bakita produced this by themselves, which is insane.
Yep.
Yeah, self-produced, which I think is just like the epitome of art when you start like producing the stuff that you're hopping on, and like that's just like, come on, like what can't you do? Super talented. So shout out to the people at KECOBO Agency. Shout out to them. But Sam, we were about to get on to our spotlight track of the podcast. Which is, drum roll please, we'll say it at the same time. It is Hold It.
Yeah, just say it, man. I was going to get that wrong.
This is the most botched intro to a song we've ever done. But anyway, the song it's so botched, Sam. Why have we? What's the reason? What's the reason for us botching the intro like this?
The joys. Of podcasting.
Some might say we're being melodramatic. And that's because the song we're going to play is from the Melodramatic EP by Maali. And the song is called Hold a Grudge.
Yeah.
I've never been the type to start a fight. Cool disposition, some might say I'm nice, but if you test my patience, and I've got a lot, yeah, I won't ever forget that unpleasant thought. See, I can hold a grudge longer than you, a grudge. Hold one for two, I can hold a grudge longer than you. I can hold a grudge longer than you, a grudge. Hold on for two, a grudge longer than you. You should have known, once bitten, twice shy. You tried me again and you saw the other side, but it was fair, I felt, having my mind set on teaching you that I can hold a grudge longer than you, a grudge. Hold one for two, I can hold a grudge longer than you. I can hold a grudge longer than you, a grudge. Hold one for two, a grudge longer than you.
That was Hold a Grudge by Maali.
Yeah.
I can hold a grudge longer than you, a grudge. Hold it for two, a grudge. Sorry.
Wait, so now you'll be singing this, and then when I'm doing the extravaganza in the intro, you don't want to join me. But now you know how to hold long notes.
I have my vocal cords need to warm up. Did you hear my amazing vocal performance right now, bro? I hit every key, like I just hit every note. It's insane. Some might say I'm a generational singer.
No one said that.
I actually should quit podcasting and become a singer.
No one said that.
Do you think I should become a singer, Sam?
You could do whatever you want. It's just everything is profitable. Not everything is beneficial. That's not how that goes.
I was setting you up there. I was setting you up bigly there, and you passed. Anyway, shout out to Maali. And shout out to you guys for sticking with us and listening to this 76th edition of the 30% podcast. We always love to produce this show for you guys, and we love that you guys take an interest in the random stuff that Sam and I
we genuinely mean
sometimes.
That. It's not just things people say at the end of the podcast.
Genuinely, from the bottom of
our bellies. Okay.
Of our bellies as well. Hey guys, as always, I'd like to leave you guys with the 3 C's, man. Y'all know I've been trying to push this, but listen, guys, if you're in the music industry, I do implore you to have confidence in your music, because if you don't have confidence in your music, who will? Like, people feed off of that. I need you guys to be consistent with the music. Please release every single month if you have to. Just let people always know that, yo, so and so has released new music, because listen, if you don't, somebody else will, and the attention will go to them. And lastly, always work on your craft every day. Try and work on something related to the music, you know, whether you're learning new chords or new ways to arrange your music, or just new interesting ways to even market your music. Like, always try and work towards bettering your craft. Sam?
Yeah. I am going to end on a different procrastination quote, because I'm finding these fun. And it says, if it weren't for the last minute, nothing will get done. And on that note.
If it weren't for the last minute, nothing would get done.
Yep. So shout out to Last Minute Saving Lives. Yeah, man, this is episode 76. We appreciate every single one of you for listening. We're out.
Yes, sir. We'll catch you on episode 77.
Yep.